by here. I think there's a gun range over there, about right in there. But anyways, I come up by here yesterday and there was a irrigation system going down there on the beans, and it may still be going. You just can't see it from this side because it usually rotates. But just down the road, Mr. Cooper has put in his irrigation system, but his irrigation system is below the ground and not above the ground. In which, you know, above the ground is probably all right, but it's not near as efficient towards using up a whole lot more water. But the fact of the matter is, whenever I drove by here yesterday, it was in broad daylight with sprinkler systems going. And I've seen that not just with Mr. Hall, but I've seen that now in about 15 or other different farmers right here locally in the Wheaton County area. And that's just in one little area where I'm seeing them irrigate their beans in broad daylight. And in broad daylight, whenever the sun's beating down on it, you're going to lose somewhere between 40 and 45%, because once the moisture even goes out of the nozzle, once it hits the air, it immediately starts evaporating. Once it hits the leaves, it immediately starts evaporating, because not all of it's going to be sucked into the leaves. The sun is going to draw a great deal of it out. Now that hits and goes on the ground, providing that the leaves are big enough to cover the ground, then you basically have the same type of effect of having an underground irrigation system. But there's still so many better factors involved in having an underground irrigation system versus the primitive irrigation system. The primitive irrigation system is the ones on top of the ground. Like I said, you're going to use twice as much water and probably get twice as less of effect as you would be if you do it the way that Mr. Cooper done it. They put trenches in the ground, and they put these big it's almost like the same type of system that they use in an septic tank system, to where it's full of holes. That way the moisture goes only in the areas that it's supposed to, towards out the holes. And of course, once you route it back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, they sow it back and forth. This is one of the fields out here, not on this side, but on the other side, that Mr. Cooper put the irrigation system in. And I guarantee you can tell a big difference on this field right here, which I believe is Mr. Cooper's field of his granddad he used to own, right here on the left, versus these beans right over here that Mr. Cooper put his underground irrigation system in. And like I said, I don't know if one field was planted before the other, but just by looking at it, it looks like a big difference between those beans over there and these beans over here. Now, I may be wrong. These beans right here may be part of Calvin Hall's, I don't know. But I do know that these set over here is Mr. Cooper's, because Mr. Cooper just got through putting in the 3 large grain bins just within the past 2 years. But you look at those beans right there, how stout that they look. I mean, they're tall, and they're very plentiful looking, very healthy. And you don't see no sprinkler systems outside. Irrigation systems. No waste.